Hello, and welcome to another episode of StarrCast, where we are speaking to wellness warriors and folks who like to work in the wellness world. Today, I'm Lisa Starr, by the way, and today I would like to welcome someone I'm so pleased to have join us. Herve Bouvier is the Global Brand Director for Comfort Zone, which many of you are familiar with. It's an Italian family owned brand of amazing skincare and body products. And Herve joined the company, I think it's about 18 months ago now, but he's had a long journey through corporate and beauty. And I thought it would be excellent to share that with our listeners. So, welcome, Herve.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. So, Herve, let's go back to your, say, teen years. What did you think you wanted to do as a career at that point in your life?
Oh, okay. Thank you for asking. Uh, I, I I started after business school. I did a good business school in France, and at the time, I really liked the car industry. So I like cars, so I wanted to
Mm,
be in the car industry,
sure.
and I worked for Peugeot for a couple of years in the USA. I love the USA. I didn't like the car industry so much because they don't have so much newness. They don't have so
Mm,
much innovation. You have a new product every 2 years.
mm.
Marketing is very strongly engineer driven. So after a couple of years, I was looking for fast moving product company, something more dynamic, something more energetic. And at the time, L'Oreal was already one of the company people wanted to join.
Mhm.
So I started with L'Oreal 2 years after my business school, and I worked with L'Oreal for more than 10 years, for about 13 years in the beauty industry.
That
Uh,
was quite a switch from cars to cosmetics, huh?
yes, it was very different, and I never one day felt sorry about this switch because there is a
Mm.
lot of excitement. It's a very vibrant industry. Beauty industry is growing a lot, so is a very important part of a business. It's growing a lot by segment, by market, by
Mhm.
category. It's L'Oreal has been performing very well. And then after 13 years, working mostly in Europe for fragrances, Armani, Ralph Lauren, after
Mm.
Biofirm, Rubinstein, Lancôme, I had my first position outside of France in 2001. So I left to take over Central Europe, emerging markets of Central Europe for all the luxury division of L'Oréal, which is Lancôme, Rubinstein, Biofirm,
Mhm.
Armani, Ralph Lauren fragrances, and so on. And that was at this time where I was looking at going further, and I was very interested by Asia. You know, in about 15, 20 years ago, this was this big Asia
It was a
um,
mystery to
of
most of us at that point.
yes, it's true. It's true, but you know you had growth, you had opportunity. There are a lot of ways of driving business in Asia, and I was looking for opportunity with L'Oréal to go to Asia when I was approached by Estée Lauder.
Mm.
So it's the you have two big players
Right.
in
The world's
prestige beauty.
biggest.
Yeah. And then we had some discussions, but I was very interested by Estée Lauder at the time because it felt to me that it was more, I would say, a family company
Mhm.
with a smaller size, with more power to make decisions, to make an impact, stronger entrepreneurship spirit. L'Oreal was a strong, well-oiled, good school machine, but I felt it was becoming too big for me. So I
Uh-huh.
went down to Lauder, and I spent 10 years in Asia for Estée Lauder.
Wow, where were you
Uh,
based?
oh, good question. I was in Singapore first for clinic,
Mhm.
duty free, for couple of years. Then I took over the Estée Lauder brand for Asia. So I was the vice president for Asia Pacific, so
Mm-hmm.
Japan, China, Taiwan, Korea,
Mm-hmm.
all the way down to Australia, New Zealand.
Wow.
And I was based in Hong Kong, and I was in charge of the Estée Lauder brand for all those markets. So that took about 4 years of my job, and that was very interesting because the market was growing almost double digit by itself,
Wow.
meaning that if you were overperforming the market, you were growing plus 15%. So you were recruiting people, building teams, investing in research, investing in consumer insight. That was really a vibrant market. Not only China, but you had Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, Korea was growing. Japan was more
Mm-hmm.
mature, so a little bit more uh, technical market, more competitive,
Mm-hmm.
different. Very interesting area. And on this Estée Lauder time, it was mostly retail. So I
Oh,
had
sure.
a couple of boutique freestanding store with a couple of cabins, but that was very small. Like the boutique were less than 10% of our business,
Mm-hmm.
and the treatment that was less than 20% of that 10%. So
Mm.
I was very far from wellness. So you will see it's been a journey with a
Yes,
purpose, but it's been a journey.
but that retail background has served you well. I mean, to go into a market that's growing like Asia and grow it even more, and you had all those options, right? How did you know what to focus on in order to maintain that growth rate?
That's a very good question. Thank you for asking. That's actually what you learn at the business school and then through your junior years
Mm-hmm.
at corporate companies. They really groom you and teach you. Uh, so you look for granularity or growth. So you look, there is a very systematic approach. You look by market, which is my growing market, which is
Mm-hmm.
my less growing market. Then, after looking by market, you look by consumer segment. After looking by consumer segment, you look by product. So you will have this matrix, the typical matrix from school that you use, that are helping you for growth.
Mm-hmm.
So in our case, we identified Greater China, which I would call China with allowing effect on Taiwan, Hong Kong,
Right.
but also travel retail, duty free, because Chinese travel a lot as the first area of focus, knowing that in China it was skincare versus fragrance or makeup that
Mm-hmm.
would prevail. So mostly skincare. And inside skincare, serum, essence, and whitening. So
Oh,
you would build hero product around
around
this
those.
around those, and then you find out that okay, you have a lot of growth in China, but you need to have some legitimacy. So in order to do this, you have to be strong in Korea or in Japan, because
Sure.
Chinese would look at the time.
Right. They
Now
look to those markets to see what they were doing.
they don't look anymore. They became very mature very quickly. So now they,
Oh,
they, they
it's
make up their mind.
amazing today, the
Mhm.
powerhouse that they are. Well, I love how you took your business school training and you applied it, instead of cars into cosmetics, to grow that business. And obviously, you were successful at doing that.
Mhm.
So,
Thank you, Lisa.
What happened after that? After you were in Hong Kong with Lauder?
So inside the corporation, a logical move after being in charge of one brand in one region would be to take a big market.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, and it's still big, Korea was top five market for the Estée Lauder companies. You had USA, UK, Japan, China, and Korea as
Hmm.
a big market. So I was appointed CEO or president or managing director of a Korea business. So it was very different because instead of being in charge of one brand in all the markets, I was in charge of one market with
But all the
all the
brands.
brands.
Oh, I see.
So it was more portfolio management. Do I want to push this category? Do I want to push fragrance? Do I want to push makeup? Which was super interesting. And also, you have also all the back office, human resources, logistics, warehouse, um, to manage. You are really in charge of your own your own country. So it's like one place to run. And what was interesting at the time is that this started to be a skincare driven market.
Mm.
But after a couple of years, skincare became very, very competitive because of a local brand, Korean brand.
Oh, I
Uh,
know. They're amazing what they come up with over there. They're very innovative.
they came from nowhere, Lisa. They came from nowhere about 10 years ago. It was mostly dominated by imported brands.
Hmm.
And then Korean brands, after a lot of hard work, R&D, research, looking at best practices, started to launch a lot of brands like a machine gun. And then you felt like, oh my God, they launch all these
Another
brands.
one,
It's
another one.
just like they launch this brand, and then they know that some, like the eggs on a bird's nest. Some might die, some might not die, but it was just coming and coming and coming. So this is when we have this very interesting strategic move, because we say, okay, we cannot dominate. We have very big market share with Estee Lauder in Korea, and we cannot keep them by keeping skincare only. So we made a strong push on makeup. That was the time where we pushed Bobbi Brown
Hmm.
makeup, we pushed MAC makeup, we launched Jo Malone. Even if Korea and Japan are not fragrance market, we knew that we had a niche to grow. So that was very interesting moment of diversification, from being just strong in one category to play the full portfolio. And also at the time, that was the beginning of a digital time. That was 7, 8 years ago,
Hmm.
where actually beauty was less deployed in e-commerce than some other industries. So we were catching up in digital. So this is a
Hmm.
moment where we had to play a lot of the consumer experience via digital and above the other categories. But for sure, Korea has been, for me, the most beautiful experience, because it's a very hermetic country in a way. So you need to go through the experience, the initiation of understanding the culture, and then it's a real experience, because
So I suppose you lived in Seoul at that time?
yes,
Mhm.
we lived in Seoul, which is more than 10 million people city. So it's as big as New York, huh? Seoul. It's very,
Sure.
very impressive. We lived in Seoul, and my family liked it very much. We had four very, very interesting years where my kids grew up in Korea. And I think this is where I have learned the most.
Really?
Korean people are, well, most Asian people are actually extremely hardworking,
Hmm.
dedicated, always challenging themselves, willing to improve, pushing themselves out of a security zone. I would think that Asians are even more competitive than the others. And I've been learning and enjoying a lot working with them.
I do. I agree. I think they're very hardworking and they study and they watch and they innovate and they don't waste time. They make decisions quickly.
Mhm. By the way, Asia today is 57% of premium skincare
In the world?
in the world. More than
Wow.
half of the skincare premium sold in the world is today in Asia.
Well, that explains why everybody wants to be on Tmall, right? And the other sites.
Here we go. So here you need a special podcast on Tmall, because that's a big machine for sure.
So what
Very big.
happened next in your career? You were in Seoul, and where was your next move?
So the next move was in New York, because Estee Lauder asked me to go to New York to the headquarters.
That's a
I,
big
wa- I, wa-
move.
yeah, that was a big move. Actually, when I was in Korea, Bobbi Brown came to visit Korea.
Hmm.
Bobbi Brown, the makeup artist,
Hmm.
and at this time she had a fantastic president working for Maureen Case. So they visited Korea, and they were very impressed by the job that was done around Bobbi Brown in Korea, mostly by my team, not by me, but they were very
Excellent.
impressed. So then they asked me to go to New York to develop Bobbi Brown at the international. So in
That's
this
nice.
position, which was my last position in Estee Lauder companies in New York, I was driving all the business outside of North America for one brand.
That's a big job, a
It
global
was
job.
fascinating, Lisa, fascinating because you meet you at the time, of course, not like today. So you would travel a lot. Huh? You would travel a lot. So you would meet um, many culture, many new markets. So we opened Peru. We relaunched Chile. We push India. At the same time, we solidified France, UK was our biggest market outside of the US. So it was a fantastic time of mingling, sharing experiences with people, best practices, building a community
Mm-hmm.
around makeup, because around makeup is like makeup is like hair care. You have a lot more emotion around the product,
That's
skincare and
very true.
fragrance.
That's
Yeah,
very true. And there's such an array of color, right, that attracts different people and different cultures to it. So I'm sure that was a very broad mandate for you to have globally. And it's funny that you were based in New York and yet you managed everything outside of New York.
so true. Well, because the biggest challenge in my job, I hope she would smile, was to convince Bobby about giving her a new product, giving
Mm-hmm.
us new headline, new concept. So, for example, we had the Chinese market who wanted to have a golden lipstick, a lipstick in gold.
Right.
And this is not in the color code of Bobby. If you look at the Bobby Brown
Mm-hmm.
color code, you have it's a beautiful brown, very strong brown. You have the white marble, you have the wood, you have black, you have
Mm-hmm.
dark gray anthracite, you have pink as a minimum. You don't have gold in the code.
Mm-hmm.
So Bobby was hesitating about giving us a gold lipstick because it's not my color. So we had meeting every month. And finally, there is one lipstick of Bobby who had a little gold ring. So we went with a mock-up of Bobby, and instead of a black shape with a golden silhouette, with a black lipstick with a golden ring, we swap. So it was
Ah,
gold. So I say, Bobby, it's the same. You just swap the color. And then I say, if you do this, you will do this performance in Asia because gold is in the color code
mm-hmm.
of Asian culture, and if you do gold, they will buy you. And then if you do a luxe lipstick, you can sell it 20% more, so you
Mm-hmm.
will make more sales, more
Mm-hmm.
margin, and you will push your Asia
All good
market.
results.
Yeah, and she was a great partner because if you explain well and again, you would get your case. So we did a Lux Sleep. So we did Lux Sleep first for Asia. Then it worked so well that India and Europe they wanted it. And the last time I heard it, it was the number one or number two lipstick of the brand even in the US.
Wow. So here we're talking to the man who was the brainchild behind one of the most popular lipsticks in the last 10 years.
No,
Excellent.
it takes a village. It takes a village, Lisa. There is never one person. It was a teamwork. You need to convince a lot of people to get things moving in companies.
Well, I'm thinking that that's probably one of the challenges of working in a corporate environment, right? There are many, many people and committees and meetings to make something happen. So, is that what led you to your next move?
Yes, actually, thank you. This is very interesting, actually, even for me to share this and to rethink about the journey. Um, about 5 years ago, Estée Lauder became a bigger company, as big as L'Oréal when I wanted to leave L'Oréal because I felt we had less entrepreneurship spirit and we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do we couldn't do what we wanted. It was too a little bit too bureaucratic. So at this time, I had this idea to make consulting with some good friends.
Mm.
So we made some consulting for a couple of years. Actually, the consulting company is still there. I'm not with them anymore. It's Beauty to Retail.
So
So
you
we
worked in on beauty retail, but on the consulting side.
exactly. So we were advising a small, very small brand that 1, 2, 3, 4 million turnover sales, or even
Mm-hmm.
zero, trying to raise a fund to produce. So we are advising small brands on ad hoc request, how to build the business, how to grow a business, helping them to do a business plan,
Mm,
helping them to make presentation to key retailers to get listed, giving them tips about pricing, about positioning, about assortment. So this was for couple of years with a couple of friends. That was very interesting. It was very fun. Meeting a lot of young entrepreneur, young guys like 25, 30
mm,
year old with new ideas and coming very fresh, sharing with us what they wanted to do and exchanging. And it was great because they would respect our knowledge, our experience, our
sure.
input, and we would be very impressed because they would be like Bobby Brown or Mrs.
Hmm.
Estée Lauder or some founder because with those people they see things that we don't see in a different way. So that was very interesting, very interesting time and very refreshing moment.
I think it's so good when entrepreneurs have the idea and the energy, but they realize maybe they need better perspective and they can rely on consultants to give them that perspective. So many entrepreneurs, and you may have found, think they know everything and they start the business and it doesn't do as well as they thought because it's impossible to know everything. And it's great that you were able to offer your perspective and experience to small brands and help them, grow successfully.
In our case, what was very interesting is that you had all the salon that were open. So you would go to salon, you would meet brands, discuss with brands, find partnerships. So we could really choose each other. It was like you do speed dating in a salon and you find
Hmm.
3, 4 brands that you like very much, and then you accompany them for 3, 4 months on a business plan, on a journey, on this kind of things. The entrepreneur I met, and some of them have done very well, and they deserve it. They really give us a new perspective. That was
Plus you see results quickly, right? Which is different than in the corporate world. I mean, when you work with smaller brands, you can make an impact so much more quickly, and it's exciting for both of you.
you do, but in a way, what happened is that you find out that they contact you, and it's normal when they have needs, when they have requests. So you guide them, you help them, you give them tips, and then when they are good, they fly. So they go. So
Yeah.
so you spend your time, not like a doctor, but mostly problem solving, giving tips, giving ideas. And I can tell you a few times we were very well. Everyone was very good, but then thank you, goodbye. We can continue without you. So
Uh-huh.
so you had also this.
It's like being a parent and getting the kids ready and then they leave the house.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't really see the result of what you have recommended because they go to run without you because you told them what they should be doing.
Right,
So
right.
so so you had this satisfaction of meeting a lot of people, sharing a lot of ideas, being refreshed and inspired, and to all these young people with all this energy was great. But also you felt, wow, I don't really get. I don't really get the journey. I'm not
Hmm.
part of the results.
Right,
And this is when took place what we want to speak about, my job now with Comfort Zone.
right. So how did that happen?
So that started about 2 years ago when I met Davide Bolatti in Cosmoprof. Davide
Hmm.
Bolatti is the founder of Davines Group and Comfort Zone brand, the
Right.
owner and the founder. And at the time, he had Davines, very successful, established hair care professional brand
Sure.
that was flying. And he wanted to grow further this second brand of his portfolio,
Hmm.
the skincare brand Comfort Zone with skin regimen, part of his skincare division. And he was looking how to go outside of professional
Hmm.
and reinforce professional. So he had two challenges: reinforce my brand identity on Comfort Zone, how to make it a stronger professional brand to differentiate myself, and also can I go carefully outside of professional,
Mm.
uh,
Into retail.
touch retail, touch digital, and how can I do? So I worked a couple of months to make a business plan for him that I presented in July, October to him and the directors. And they liked it and they proposed me to join to make it happen.
Wow. So that was great, right? Because instead of just being the consultant, now you're invited in to watch the baby grow.
Yes, and what was great is that you were hired to execute a plan that you presented them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as if you take a job and you have to adjust regarding what do I have to do with my job. You present a plan, you say, this is what I think you should do. And they say, okay, we take you on board to make it happen.
That's the best of all worlds, right?
That was good. Yeah, yeah, that was, and plus this is Italy. Huh? You know, Italy is one of the most exciting place to be
For
working.
sure. So how do you see the difference now of working in a smaller firm that's very wellness oriented, as Comfort Zone is, versus your roles in corporate? What's different about your world now?
Yes. So it's probably amplified because it's an Italian company.
Mm-hmm.
But I spoke with other friends and they told me the same thing. For sure, on a family size, and I would say Davines Group is still a family size, but we have 700 employees. Huh? In
Mm.
Air Care is 700 people on the
700
payroll.
employees. That's a lot.
Knowing that, well, it's a fully integrated company, so they have R&D, they have 40 people working for the
Mm-hmm.
lab, they have a plant, they have people working in the plant, they have a production, they have a strong affiliate in the US, in the UK.
Mm-hmm. You
Uh,
have gardeners in the beautiful garden
we
outside.
have, we have, yeah, yeah, yeah. We do. Actually, it's quite photogenic. We should use it more. So back to your question. You surely have a lot more emotion,
Hmm.
meaning that if you're in a corporate world, if you rate your day, you would rate your day between uh, 7 out of 20 to 14 out of 20. This
Hmm.
I had a bad day is 7, a good day is 13. So
Okay.
you're kind of mid-range. In the emotional company, in a family company, you take things a lot more close to your heart.
Uh-huh.
Meaning that if you have a bad day, it's really a bad day
Mm.
because you might have a disagreement with the owner, you might have a disagreement with an employee who has been here 15 years because people are very loyal to the company and you need to convince them about something. And then if you have a good day, it's a fantastic day. So the emotion that you get in the job is amplified on both sides.
So the lows are lower and the highs are higher.
Exactly. Regarding the speed to decision, it's very interesting. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a topic with how can I say a new topic, a topic that a few things you decide yourself because it's your turn. So you just go quickly. That could be open a new partner. That could be discuss with a new distributor. That
Mm-hmm.
could be um, launch a new range. This can go quick. Now, if you want to go into social media, it's a new kingdom. So you need to make sure that people are on board. You need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that the investment that you make for the brand versus other choices is approved. So the decision can overall, I don't think we decide faster than big group. It's just different decision process. The big things for me is more the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the case of Davines Village, I have to say it's rated by many peers one of the most beautiful offices that you could have. Huh? It's
Absolutely. I can speak to that. I've been there several times and I wish I worked there too.
it's the vision of our chairman, and it's a place they worked with one of the best architects, Matteo Thun, a beautiful concept. We have a garden, which is a scientific garden where which is in front of the lab where they can get inspired by the
Delicious
ingredients,
food for lunch.
delicious food for lunch. Yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. Yes. So
So now you
mm,
are feeling that you work more in wellness retail, right, than corporate retail. What do you see the next few years looking like for these wellness oriented brands?
okay. One thing is sure is that you cannot avoid the trend of
Uh huh. Good.
clean, green, sustainable. Um, of course, people will always want performance, and they will not buy a product if it's clean or not performance. So performance
Sure.
first. So you cannot go clean or not
We
performance.
cannot
So
trade the efficacy for the clean. We have to have both.
yes, you cannot. But now today many brands are able to do performant product.
Mm,
It's a lot more competitive than 10, 20 years ago. You have indie brands, you have a founder who find the right partner, the right support, and they do products. So it's less difficult to have the barrier of entry in skincare are very low. If you go back to
mm,
the car industry, it's very difficult to have your own car company.
very
Uh, a,
true.
a skincare company,
Not so hard.
uh, well, you need determination.
Mm,
If you really are ready to sacrifice things to get things done, now a lot of things is on internet, so you can find half of your information on internet. Then you find a few good partners. You can easily launch a brand. So back to this, the big difference is clean, sustainability, green, uh, not only in the formulation. Of course, the way you formulate has to be good for your good for the skin,
hmm.
but also in a more holistic way,
Yes.
which means that you have to be good for your skin and good for the planet. You
Right.
you, you have to minimize the plastic that you use, or you use recycled plastic or green PE. You have to make sure that you are carbon neutral or carbon negative.
Hmm.
And this is where you have all these big phenomena now that are taking place, which is to be a B Corp.
Right.
B Corp company means you make sure that you do good around you, that you have a purpose. It's taking care of your people. So it's really having a purpose, having a meaning in what you do.
And
And
being a
this is,
certified B Corp is not easy. And I think Comfort Zone was one of the first large global brands to do that. So kudos to Davide. I know he was very committed to that movement.
when Davide Boletti wants something, he's gonna get it. That's for
Uh-huh.
sure. Yeah, and kudos to him. That's one of the reason I joined. And that's actually, what is interesting is that at the time, that was really Davide Boletti and Paolo Braguzzi, with our CEO, vision
Hmm.
to say we want to be big car because we want to do the right thing. They created sustainable beauty as a payoff for Davines in 2005.
Mm, wow.
So
Well before many brands even thought about it.
well before that was really in the genes of a company. And why Davines has been doing so well is that they had the boat in the wind. So when the wind started to blow, they really had all this push behind them to help. And what we are doing now with Comfort Zone is that we are also actually for a very long time um, clean and careful, following the company values in many areas, because a lot of areas like R&D and D and so on is they share expertise and so on. So we changed the payoff. Huh? We used to be a skin science soul, and we changed last October to conscious skin science. So
Okay.
like Nike just do it,
Hmm.
we are conscious in science, meaning that, of course, science, because we are 40 people working in the lab on the formulation, and working very hard on getting us the best formula and producing everything in-house. Then skin, because of a strong heritage of the spa, the wellness, we all about skin.
Hmm.
And then conscious, because we want to do everything from recruitment to production to formulation to transport, in a conscious way.
Well, there's much intention. And I love that about Comfort Zone. There's a lot of intention behind the brand, and it touches emotion, as you said. So
Mm.
so well done. We're very happy to have you with your corporate and global experience to join our wellness world, Hervé. In closing, I'd like to ask you two questions. Number one, what do you miss about living in Asia?
It's a good question. Um, Two things. The speed.
The speed.
Things go very quick in Asia.
Mm.
If you want to get you move to a place, you want to get your Wi-Fi done, you get it the next day. You go to a restaurant, you order your food, you get in within 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a speed.
Little
And
different
this
than living in Italy, right?
Italy is another place. Italy is another place.
Mm.
Italy, in a way, I'm French, so I would say Italy and France. If you go through, it's worth it. It's worth it because it has a plus and minus, and yeah, it's countries where you wait more for things, but then it's a full experience, and when you get it, it's fantastic. I don't know. I have been very fortunate to never be sorry about my moves.
Oh no, I
Uh,
not to malign Italy. It's just not
uh,
known for speedy. So what was your second thing
but
about
but
it?
France is also not speedy, Lisa. So I
Yeah,
was
no,
I was
true,
groomed.
true.
I was groomed this way. Mm-mm. Um, so speed and efficiency or quality of service.
Mm.
In Asia, there is an attention to detail in a protocol which is higher than the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
world, even Europe. If you go just for a consultation in a counter, the average consultation, if you want to buy a cream or a serum in the USA, would be 5-7 minutes. In
Mm-hmm.
Europe would be 10-12 minutes. In Asia would be 20 minutes.
Wow. Well, that's a
The,
big
the,
difference.
the same product about the same price, because Asia is, I would say, more consumer centric,
Mm-hmm.
and but the service in Asia is more advanced.
Well,
Mm-mm.
maybe that's why sales are growing so quickly. My second question, it sounds like you have very little spare time as a global brand director, but when you have spare time, what do you like to do?
Okay. Um, I like my job. So my job is my hobby, and I spend
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time in my job and working around my job, because it's something which is it's a blessing to do something you like. So this is also taking some of my time. Um, I spend time with my kids. My kids, they are 7 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
13, she doesn't speak to me anymore. 7 still. So
Right.
yeah, I spend time with my kid. Before, I used to like to travel a lot, as you can see, I've been in many places. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to travel a lot. It's not possible for one year, so I cannot complain. Huh? But for me, traveling was a big piece of what I did enjoy. So it's family time mostly.
Well, the pandemic gave you that, right? It takes away the travel, but it gives something else. We all got more family time this year.
Oh, that's a good word of wisdom. So true.
Well, I'm sure your comfort zone family was happy to have you, Herve Bouvier, Global Brand Director for Comfort Zone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope I see you again in person soon.
I hope so, Lisa. It will be a real pleasure. I'm looking forward. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.